Yo, what's going on, guys? It's someone that's no one here today, and today we're back for another dream journal. Welcome back. This one is going to be called probably fucking around trying to get to Six Flags, or bullshitting to Six Flags, or can't get into Six Flags, or fucking retards about getting into Six Flags. Something about Six Flags probably, because this experience or dream, it doesn't, it's not very rational. That's all I'm going to say. But if you guys do like these, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, all that. Follow the socials, of course. And let's just get into this dream. This experience, it's kind of weird, but aren't they all? This pretty much all connected together, but for the most part, I did wake up for a brief period in the night. The first dream, it's a bit irrational. It made very little sense, and I barely had an understanding of what was going on at the time. I was in school with the homie, Drew. You might have known Drew. He's been in a lot of stories previously. But Drew and I had gotten into some sort of trouble. We had no idea what we were doing and why we were being sent to the principal's office. And we ended up somewhere I've never actually been in the school. And we were our age now, but back in the day, like, Drew and I would get in trouble all the time over the dumbest shit. But we were placed outside the office and just wait to be called in. Now, for whatever reason, some of our teachers wanted us to do work while we waited, and even got a small table for us to do our work on. Like, man, we're already in trouble. Why you got to put us through all this schoolwork right beforehand? And it's not like they just gave us our work and left. Like, they sat there with us, making sure we did the shit. The math teacher had a huge grudge on us. Like, he hated us. And I was just thinking, like, man, this is just a bunch of bullshit. I got up, wanted to leave, but a security officer stopped me from leaving the building. And that's just extra bull. I'm an adult right now, and I can leave this bitch whenever I want. But it's like they didn't give a fuck on the bullshit they were always on. But this period ended shortly, like this a segment in the dream at school, and I have no idea why we got in trouble or what the punishment was. But the next thing I know, Drew and I were chilling at home with some of our other friends, people I can hardly remember. David was someone I recognized. He's been in a couple stories, I believe. But there's also these two other kids we acknowledged as our friends, but like I have no idea who were these people. And we're all chilling at my old house in my old room. Not much happened when we were chilling, but we had these toys. Not some normal toys, but like some weird ass evil toys from the black market. And they were actually weapons, but we were actually playing with them like little kids and shit, and suddenly the toys go haywire and turn alive on us. It wasn't like Chucky. These toys were like little robot action figures with weapons. And one of them got me and one of the other randoms I never met before, and it had like this saw weapon cutting our fingers off. And this shit cut my ring finger off from my hand, and I was just more pissed than anything. Like, only the top part of it was cut off, and it didn't hurt, but I was just freaking out that they were gonna start doing some more. But the other kid who got his fingers cut off, he was crying his eyes out. He got like 4 fingers off, leaving him with just his thumb on one hand. And I was just shaking my head to that. I was like, damn, they got you pretty bad. Then Drew and David, they went to action and just threw the toys out. Like, fuck that shit. I don't know where the first dream ended, and I just kind of woke up. I checked my finger too, like thinking that shit was actually cut off. But it was cold, got another blanket on, and go back to dreaming. Now for this next part, it isn't weird, but geez, man, then again, it is. But this shit would never ever fucking happen. Now, I'm with some more of the bros this time, and some people I would never actually hang out with. The two I wouldn't, well, it isn't I wouldn't, I just haven't ever and don't know if I actually would. And these people are Lizzie and Nate. Nate, he's kind of like this cocky asshole, does a bunch of drugs, but we're on good terms. Lizzie, this girl I had class with, I found her pretty attractive at one point, but I actually never made a move on her. Along with us was Drew and David still, and joining us would be 2 of my other homies, Zay and John. Now, I don't think I mentioned either of them in the story before. But again, we're at this the old house, my old house, and we were just kind of hanging out, doing our thing, talking, and we were making plans. We wanted to go to Six Flags for that day, which, yeah, sounds like a fun time. But we were making it all, like, super fucking complicated. Like, we didn't want to pay that much just for one day, and we were figuring out, like, how to get there or who's driving, and We're just talking about all this bullshit that's actually pretty easy to figure out, but it got so complicated that we didn't know how to figure it out. So Nate thought it would be a smart idea. Let's just light up a joint in the house with my grandma there. And I thought it would be cool too until my grandma came busted in talking shit. What the fuck are you doing smoking that in the house? And she went on a rampage roasting all of us. John and Zay somehow ended up downstairs in our basement, and my grandma went to see if they had more. She didn't even think Nate was the one who got it. So we follow her downstairs, and this is the most ridiculous shit ever. Zay tries to fight my grandma, like he wants to box her. And my grandma ain't having that shit. And she doesn't even back down, and she starts whipping him with a towel. And he just runs off, smiling at us like it's a joke. We just rush upstairs after and get the hell out of the house. We can head over to my place, John told us, and David drives us all there. John's place was a lot smaller than my place, but we were just playing video games for a minute there, still trying to figure shit out. And it was like some Attack on Titan video game I've never seen before. But one moment we're playing this, and the next moment we're lining up for Six Flags. And while I'm there, I remember I didn't even want to spend any money at the time because I had some big payments coming up for something, so I was trying to pay the least amount as possible. Now, I don't know the real prices for Six Flags off the top of my head. They were taxed and heavy. Like, it was $80 a person, which is just fucking outrageous. I know for a fact it isn't like that for a single day. Maybe like the season pass, but not one day. But they were having this special too. Bring 5 people and it would only be $50 a person. But I guess the logic just wasn't on my side or my friend's side. Crap, we need another person, I said. You're right, shit, Lizzie said. Even though at the time we had 7, clear logic did not exist. So I remember texting all sorts of people, telling them to come meet up at Six Flags so we can pay less, but no one was responding. This is bullshit, David said. How come they're charging us this much? But also we noticed, for some reason, Six Flags had this gambling option. Gamble your money. You can win up to 3 tickets for the price of 1 or none. I'm going to try that, Drew said. None of us were against it. We could easily pay that way if we did win. So Drew played, and it was like this slot machine basically. And we lost. I'll try now. As long as we don't have to try it 3 times, it will be worth it, David said. And we watched him go. And he lost. And that pretty much put everyone in this piss-ass mood. And we just left the park. Like, fuck this shit. Now, we ended up going back to John's, but not everyone went inside. And this is where things turn a little sexual. I went inside to play that video game again, but Lizzie quickly followed me inside. She was straightforward as fuck. I want to have sex. And I was just stunned. Like, just, oh my god. Then she said, I was thinking about doing it with Nate, but I realized it would be way better with you. And I was just thinking, this is ridiculous, but fuck yeah, let's go. So I tell her, alright, let's go somewhere more private. The living room wasn't the best option, obviously, so I'm like, let's go to John's room. John's room turned out to be horrible. There was like only a little ass couch and this little ass chair, and there was like no room. It was all a fucking mess. And I was just ready as fuck, and so was she. And I could tell, like, this was just not going to work. And I'm like, hold on. Let me see if there's a better place. I looked to the room next to us. There's a bed in there, but someone's sleeping in it, John's mom. I quickly got out, but his mom seemed to notice me and started asking these questions. What are you doing? Now, John's mom knows me. I just answered, try to keep it cool. And all the while I was thinking, man, fuck this. We're just going to go back to my place. But his mom kept asking me this shit, like why the TV was on. And I was just trying to get the fuck out. She wanted me to put on Netflix for some reason in the living room. And I tried to find it, but I couldn't on whatever gaming system it was. And I was just thinking, man, fuck off already. I'm just trying to do some work. And the dream ends there. I just woke up. No work, sadly, with Lizzie ever happened. And yeah, that's the dream. Pretty odd, but it went. So if you guys did like that video, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm not going to say too much about it. You already know what's up. Follow the socials. It's been someone that's no one. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.